All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation. Now, those who are aware know that politics of the oil industry revolve around the intense struggle for control over resource extraction, distribution, and vast geopolitical wealth. Thankfully, an agreement between the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, with two Chinese companies is putting Nigerian refineries on restart. The Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, has expressed strong support for NNPCL's recent MOU with Chinese firms to revive the Warri and Port Harcourt refineries. As far as NUPENG is concerned, the collaboration would boost domestic refining capacity and ease economic pressure. Okay, BQ, looking at this, NUPENG has publicly backed this partnership. First, I would like to know, tell me, why do you think NUPENG is supporting this move? There must be a reason.
Yes, NUPENG has always wanted the revival of Nigerian refineries, because they know if that is done, it will keep their colleagues, co-workers, to keep them in business. They will be able to keep their jobs. That's first and foremost. And as far as NUPENG is concerned, local refining is very important for the economic prosperity of our country. Now, if we are able to keep the Nigerian refineries working, you have Dangote with the capacity to produce 650,000 barrels a day, the single train refinery, the biggest single train refinery in the world. If you have Abdulsamad Isakarabiu's refinery in Akwa Ibom State, if it comes on stream, that would do a little in excess of 200,000 barrels a day. And then you have the Nigerian refineries, the public refineries, the state-owned refineries coming on stream. Warri, which is our most modern refinery, is the youngest. Is the youngest of our state-run refineries. We have Warri, you know. Warri has always done better than the other refineries. In fact, Warri was working right up to 2018 before it was shut down at one point. And when I went to do some investigative work in Warri South local government, the refinery in Warri was working. The refinery was working. Nobody who was a staff there has come out to say it was not working. The people who are saying, oh, it's showing us fire, this and that, there are people who don't even habitually go out to do investigative work. You know? But the people, the residents, I lived in a refinery, in a refinery town for 9 years.
In Kaduna?
In Kaduna. I was born in Zaria. I did my youth service in Kaduna. I started working in Kaduna. I lived in a refinery town. Once we stand, even from Tudunwada, we will be seeing the gas flaring. And once there is a problem with the refinery, we will know. Because you won't see, because that's the first and primary evidence of work going on in the refinery, or the refinery being in operation. You know, so and the thing is high, so you can see it from many parts of Kaduna, although of course now the city is much bigger, so people may not see it as they used to see it back then. So that is, by the way, it is something that we will not stop saying, that Warri Refinery was working. And NNPC staff will tell you that up to 2018, we didn't have issues with Warri Refinery. It was working. It's our most modern state-run refinery, I repeat. Now, to NUPENG, it is good news that we have finally found a way to do something about our refineries. People have said, oh, they went and brought estate valuers and all that. When more than I think about 35, they consulted about 35 companies,
Okay.
including Shell, Total Energies,
Okay.
but they said they were not coming. There's a reason. It's not because Nigerian refineries can't work.
Okay.
And all of the nonsense that they are saying that, oh, the refineries are dead, they can't work again. It is because by 2030, most refineries in Europe will become energy parks. They are going to now be focused on renewable energy.
Okay.
Because emission controls are being tightened. So they are not even ready to invest in refining anymore. So when they were contacted, the likes of Total Energies, Shell, Renaissance, they said, no, we are not interested. They now went and began talking to the Chinese, who have now come to say, okay, we will work together. And what is different
Yeah, I want
to
know
what
the
we
difference.
have
Exactly.
in the past, we used to bring contractor, yeah, come and work.
Okay.
This time around, these people, we are doing it like a partnership. So you get reward for the good work that you have done.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, it becomes more like, okay,
A mutual
yes,
benefit.
like a joint venture profit sharing thing, so that you have the incentive to deliver.
Okay.
So they will come now, expand the capacity of, like the Port Harcourt refinery, it has 2 units. One is just about 25,000
barrels
yes, per day. You know, the other one is about 200,000 or so. Okay. Now, the one that was repaired was the smaller one.
The 25,000.
Yes, so you see why they moved away, because you can't make money. You can't make money. And they want to run these refineries like a proper business that delivers profit. The GCO of NNPC said they were losing more than $300 million a month. Nobody, if the refinery is profit-driven, you can't allow a situation in which in a month you are losing about 300. Who does that? Oh, because you don't want people to complain, or because you want people to be happy that, oh, refineries are working. In any case, those who made up their minds not to even believe that the refineries work for one day, despite seeing the NLC president and other popular people go to confirm that.
Yes, chemical engineers also.
Yes, chemical engineers. They say, but they will still say the same thing. That it's not working, it's a lie. He said he cannot continue to have these refineries operating at a tremendous loss. So the formula has to change. You are bringing in these people, these 3 companies. They would continue the repair work and ensure that those refineries start to work again. They will expand the capacity of the refineries because profitability lies also in expanding the capacity of those refineries. So you'll be able to take in more work, you'll be able to deliver more value. So that is where they are. And I'm happy that the NUPENG president said the long-standing challenges in the Nigerian petroleum sector and reducing the country's heavy, he said this is a significant step towards addressing the long-standing challenges in Nigeria's petroleum sector and reducing the country's heavy dependence on imported petroleum products, despite its position as a major oil-producing nation. He also went on to say the continued collapse and underperformance of local refineries over the years have contributed greatly to rising fuel costs, pressure on foreign exchange, inflation, unemployment, and worsening economic hardship for millions of Nigerians. So this is the point that they are making. Absolutely. So, and I said the agreement with the Chinese firms presents an opportunity for the country to reposition its oil and gas sector, restore public confidence in the nation's refining capacity, create employment opportunities, encourage industrial growth, strengthen energy security, and reduce the economic pressure associated with fuel importation. I think these guys made sense.
Absolutely.
They are not always in tandem with government because they are a pressure group interested in the welfare of their workers. But they recognize
the benefits.
Yes, that will come from this. So it's not a case of government bringing money now. Yeah, let's this contractor has come. Let's give him $2 billion. Let him continue to work. You will bring your funds. You will bring your expertise, and you will deliver value. Just the same way that is being done with LNG.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, they share the profit.
Okay.
And Nigeria benefits a lot from LNG now. All the 3 tiers of government, they share the money. That's the sort of thing that we want to see.
I mean, GKB, NUPENG's optimism, talking about over the NNPCL Chinese partnership, what does this signal?
Well, the government is serious in solving the problem that has plagued us for the last 2 decades. Because one thing that is worse than taking a bad decision is not taking any decision at all.
Okay.
A decision you take means that you are trying to solve a problem. And if the operators in the industry can give this one a thumbs up, that means they see the benefits that can accrue to both their members, to the industry, and to Nigeria at large.
Okay.
That to me is fundamental. And that's what is very important to NUPENG. Remember that anytime they see a move that they think will be detrimental to their workers, they will cry out. They are not very shy when it comes to protecting.
Yes.
Don't forget, this is one of the strongest unions in Nigeria, where people are still collecting salaries even when the core products are not being produced. That's how powerful they are. So for them to be on board means that they think that finally they have a solution to it. Because people can complain about the cost of petroleum, cost of gas. But you must understand that this is a seller's economy. It's a seller's market. People can always sell what they buy. So you can't force them, unless you want government to go back to what we left behind 3 years ago. Start paying subsidy and creating another set of suitcase billionaires that bring no value to the system but accept their pockets. So this, if it works down the line, we solve 3 problems. First one, of course, is that because we are refining locally, the price will automatically come down. Automatically. 2, those in NUPENG and other unions that have what I call, they have old knowledge. We'll be able to come forward with modern ideas that they can now use. Some of them have not been to training in 10 years. All they know is what they knew in the 80s. So this will probably bring the new Chinese ideas to the table.
I like that point that you raised. Do you think it's important that Nigerian engineers and local firms are also integrated into this so that there could be some sort of technology transfer?
They have to, because to get to a point that whatever we have with the Chinese, we need to trickle down.
Yes.
You can't run away from that. No country will totally depend on foreigners for something as security conscious as petroleum products. I think what will happen is that towns, what they call refinery towns, once they start to work, Nigeria being who they are, will create support systems that will benefit the system and benefit themselves. That's who we are. There are things to, remember when the GNS, what they call the GSM came on board, people started creating things around it. They were making money, repairs.
So it has this miscellaneous, exactly.
And that to me is key. Because 10 years from now, those who participate in this will probably become the superstars of the industry.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen, let's go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go away.